Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to reign with Christ? It's a promise in the Bible that's so big, so profound, it can honestly change everything about how we see our future. So let's dive in and explore what that actually means for us, right here, right now.
I mean, really let that sink in for a second. We're not just talking about being a citizen in God's kingdom, we're talking about sharing in its authority, its governance. That one idea, wow, it has the power to totally reshape how we look at, well, everything.
And this isn't some minor detail tucked away in a corner of the Bible. No way. It's a theme that's woven like a golden thread from Genesis all the way to Revelation. The promise is crystal clear. Christ is going to reign, and his people, his followers, are going to reign with him. Okay, so let's be super clear about this. This is not about us becoming little gods or something. It's not about challenging Christ's ultimate authority. He alone is the King of all kings, period. What it is about is a shared victory. It's about a delegated authority that he gives to those who love and follow him. So that brings up the big question, right? If this incredible promise is real, who's it for? Who gets to share in his rule? And why? Well, thankfully, the Bible doesn't leave us guessing. To really get the full weight of this promise, we've got to go back to its roots. See, this isn't some brand new idea that just popped up in the New Testament. It's a promise that's been building for centuries, woven all through the prophecies. You can literally watch this promise unfold as you read through the Bible. You've got Daniel's vision, right, where he sees these big, scary earthly kingdoms crumble, and then a final eternal kingdom is given to God's people. Then Jesus picks up the theme in his parables. And finally, John's revelation just brings the whole thing into stunning, sharp focus. Think about how revolutionary that was. Daniel's saying that believers aren't just going to be spectators, sitting on the sidelines, watching things happen in the final kingdom. No, they're going to be active participants, actually entrusted with authority under Christ himself. And then Jesus comes along and just brings this whole idea to life. Remember his parables? Like the one about the servant who was faithful with just a little bit of money? What was his reward? He was put in charge of 10 cities. That tells us something so important. Our faithfulness right now is literally the training ground for real, tangible responsibility in the kingdom to come. Okay, so this is where we have to get real. Hearing about this incredible, glorious future, it brings up a question that I think we've all felt, right? If all of that is waiting for us, why does life right now feel so hard, so challenging? And that's a completely fair question. If we're supposedly heirs to a kingdom, why does it so often feel like we're in a battle? Why do we feel weak? Why is there so much struggle? It feels like a total paradox, doesn't it? Well, the answer is found in this core kingdom principle that completely flips the world's logic upside down, and it's this. The path to reigning, the path to glory, goes directly through faithfulness in trials. The crown comes after the cross. The Apostle Paul just lays it out so clearly. He says, if we endure, we will also reign with him. Endurance, that's the training. Our faithfulness in all the small, hidden struggles of today is what prepares us for the authority of tomorrow.
And this just shows you the night and day difference between how the world thinks and how the kingdom works. You know, the world screams, get ahead, seize power, build your name. But in God's kingdom, real responsibility, that's a gift. And it's given after your loyalty has been tested in the quiet places.
So, what does this all look like? What does reigning with Christ actually mean in practice? Let's unpack this incredible inheritance. This is where the whole story of the Bible just comes full circle. It's beautiful. Think back to Genesis. Humanity's original job was to care for, to steward the earth under God. Sin shattered that purpose. But in this future thousand-year reign of Christ, what we often call the millennial kingdom, that original mission is finally restored and fulfilled. And the structure of this kingdom is just perfect harmony. You have God the Father at the top. Authority flows down to Christ, the King of Kings. And then he delegates it to his people. And all the glory, all the honor flows right back up to him. It's just a perfect picture of how things were always meant to be. And if you take away one thing, let it be this. Your life today, right now, is directly shaping your role then. This is not about earning your salvation. That's a free gift. This is about training for your role. Every little hidden act of obedience, every time you choose what's right when no one's watching, that's your training for reigning.
And that's why this whole teaching is so incredibly important. It's not just some fun speculation about the future. It's meant to be a mirror for our lives today. It makes us stop and ask ourselves, am I living like someone who serves a coming king?
The great hope of the Bible isn't about escaping Earth. It ends with Christ restoring it. The vision is a renewed world where Christ is finally reigning in total peace and justice. And in that world, his people will finally be able to live out the purpose they were created for. When you boil it all down, this promise isn't really about power or status. At its heart, it's about belonging. It's about being united with the King. And when you're united with him, you get to share in his destiny. You share in his victory. So I'd love to leave you with this to think about. When you hear about believers reigning with Christ, do you tend to think of that as something symbolic or a literal future thing? Maybe even something that's already happening spiritually? It's a huge idea to chew on, and it really changes things as we follow him, knowing the incredible future he has in store.